I don't think enough people understand just how important Scanlation is to the anime and manga community. Without scans, the ways we consume the series we love would be drastically different, and in many ways inferior. First though, it's worth addressing something. There's an idea some people within the industry try to push that goes something like this. Scanlation should die out because without it, publisher revenue would be much greater, and if the publishers make more money, they'll be able to pick up all the series scan groups are currently doing, plus even series that have never been translated. This doesn't sound that insane at face value, but once you examine it closer and really think about what's being licensed, you'll quickly realise that that scenario is basically impossible. Once you go beyond the incredibly mainstream manga with popular anime adaptations, you'll realise that most series that are being scanlated are actually tiny, with a niche appeal and very few readers, which means they're nowhere near popular enough to justify all the time and money that would go into releasing them officially. If Scanlation stopped today, these series wouldn't be available in English because they would just lose money for the publishers. But it's not just small series that publishers won't license. Even now, in 2025, after the pandemic has basically supercharged the audience available to them, there's a bunch of acclaimed and beloved series that still don't have official English releases. I'd be able to go on for an hour listing titles, so instead I'll just mention a few from the top 100 manga list on now, which I think should do a pretty good job demonstrating that these are series that the wider community cares about. You have manga like Kono Ototomare, Usagi, Gintama, Kids on the Slope, and One Outs, all without official releases. Which means that without scans, these works wouldn't be available to us. And as I think you'd agree, these aren't exactly obscure or average series. I could also go over series that are licensed but are unavailable at the moment for one reason or another, or are just releasing incredibly slowly like March Comes In Like a Lion, but I think I've pretty much proved my point. Publishers aren't going to start pumping out translations just because scan groups go away. It's probably also important to highlight how scans are actually pretty advantageous to publishers and the wider industry. Scanning groups build communities around series, full of people that are incredibly passionate about them long before they're available officially. For publishers, this means that they get a good idea of what people actually read and would be interested in collecting volumes of. And for companies like Crunchyroll or Netflix or Funimation, whatever, it means that adaptations have like a pre-existing audience that will drive engagement and discussion about the series. They're not starting from nothing. I think it's fair to mention this because there's plenty of series that only get licensed after being adapted and being a hit. Scanlation is one of the few areas left in the anime and manga community that preserves some of the passion and love for the medium that used to be far more present a decade ago. Scanlations often go above and beyond compared to the official translation, treating series with the love and care they deserve, and ensuring the intent of the mangaka is actually conveyed properly. They'll explain certain nuances and add translator notes, include colour pages, and really enrich the reading experience for your average reader. Now of course, Scanlation isn't all good. There's plenty of problems with it. There's the low quality machine translations, the groups that hoard chapters and hide them behind paywalls, and the constant sniping and rush to get the new chapter of a popular series out quickly, among many, many other things. Like how One Piece fans insist on reading leaked early scans of the latest chapter, even though there's no real point. Like, for one time and one time only, you get ahead of the official release by 3 days, and then from that point on, you go back to waiting an entire week for the next chapter, which kind of makes the entire thing pointless. Anyway, just remember that despite all its flaws, Scanlation is and always will be the lifeblood of this community. We're nothing without it.